Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it is time once more, because it's Monday, for our weekly painting progress. And yeah, I swear I think I've done these just about every single Monday. That's pretty wild for this last year. I think I might have taken one or two off. But as it's coming down to crunch time and I'm about to have to head back to work because summertime is over, at least for the school kids, at least here in the States, at least here where I am, that means less time for painting, more time for working. And other I've been trying to clear out my backlog. I got one major project which we'll show off later in this video if you haven't already sussed it out of me or seen it on social media somewhere. But I've been trying to clear out a lot of my historical stuff. Like I said, I've been really wanting to play Lion Rampant with a lot of the ancient Victrix, War Games Atlantic, assorted plastic hits, Gripping Beast stuff that I've got laying around. So I know these are, I want to say, another Victrix. I want to say these are Allied Roman legions. I know it's super zoomed in, and he's got crazy bug eyes, but that's okay. Very Greek looking to me with that helmet and with his gladius out, but that's okay. Eventually, someday, maybe, I'm going to get some decals. I figure I'm just going to paint all of the Legionnaires' shields in red. Did I say what these were? Allied Roman Legionnaires? I think that's what they were. Auxiliaries? One or the other. So we got this dude, and then we got a bunch of Pylum boys. Not super exciting. Again, from a distance at least, their slapshot paint job will blend itself. I don't know what happened with his eyes. He's just like, too bad, sucker. You're going to have to stay like that, and I'm not going to care. He's going to go in the back. He's going to go hide behind everybody else. But considering how many of these random historicals, and I realized that these conquest bases, of which I have so many, and I'm not really keen on playing conquest with rank and file stuff because I'll never finish an entire unit, actually work out pretty nice for the historical stuff. And we got one last dude. Why they have yellow feathers, I don't know. I should probably go look online and see what kind of feathers they actually used. But for stuff like Lion Rampant, or just, ancient rank and file games in general, stuff like this is actually really handy. Yeah, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but if you're like me and have a bajillion of these anyways, not a problem. So that was a nice little discovery. I don't know why I hadn't figured that out yet earlier. Why your stuff looks so much nicer than these guys in the back, I'm not sure either. So anyway, we're going to keep plugging away at those historicals, but that's not all we painted this week. So I got some random War Games Atlantic Lizardmen done, and I swear this sealer that I've been using it really eats up a lot of the washes that I tend to use, which is okay. Not the end of the world. I did paint his eyes, and you can't really see it. That red really faded away. I gave him red eyes, but probably they should have yellow, and I forgot to paint his claws. Whoops. We'll go fix that up. And I don't know what happened here. I really don't know. If you ever needed a chameleon gunslinger going in with his guns blazing, I think those were from Great Escape. They made the Gunslinger's Ball, Dead Man's Hand guys. Those are plastic hands, and I don't even know where the hat came from a Warlord English Civil War kit. I know that because those heads, none of their hats are attached. So if you ever want to go stockpile on various haberdasheries, well, haberdashery would be, I don't know the proper term for haberdashery when it comes to hats, but anyway, I know that's where they have them. But a random chameleon gunslinger. I don't actually know what color chameleon eyes are supposed to be, and I got sick of looking online, so he just got yellow eyes. Maybe he'll end up in a 5 parsecs crew. I don't know. I've got some weird stuff I've been painting for that lately. Hopefully we'll see it in the future. I guess to coincide with this guy, where the next time I get around to playing Shadows of Brimstone with a really bizarre looking posse, Dragon's Trapper Lodge had some Warforged gunslingers, which I thought were kind of cool. I didn't know what color to paint his chaps. And I didn't bother painting his eyes, I guess. I like the little cacti on his base. They had like I know they had some centaurs in there. I don't know if they were no. They had some centaurs and snakemen and the usual dwarves and things like that. But I thought the warforged were kind of a nice touch for gunslingers. Got a couple more. We'll get around to them eventually. Let's see, what other stuff? Oh, we got some random, and I mean truly random as everything's been so far this week, Raging Heroes figures. So this was from their steampunk set. The base, I think, is a Legends of Signum base. Actually, no. Maybe it's... Theirs usually tend to have the bottom unfilled. I don't know. She was one piece. I thought that was kind of a nice touch. Very dynamic pose, as always is the case with Raging Heroes. To go along with her, and totally unrelated, another from the Norse set when they had their Berserkers. I think that is a 32mm base he's on. I really like the Berserkers from this set. Almost as big as her, and he's on a much smaller base. And they are quite big figures. Not as big as some. Told you, ain't a week going by without yet another Kingdom Death model. This is a plastic version of the, I have to think, Screaming God armor. And before anybody calls shenanigans on me, saying, oh, you've painted her before, that's an old model. Well, technically, you're right. Because I have painted a Screaming God armor pinup. This is the original resin one, whereas this is the plastic one that was in the Pinups of Death. And I should have done a better job on that skull. And another resin one. Another resin one. And finally a plastic one. So my Screaming God armor sets are coming along nicely. I think I finished everything except for the 54mm version of this dude. And we'll get around to it someday. But yeah, been chugging along on those Kingdom Death models. I have no idea. I'll enter some of them, something, in the various. I know there's the one on the Lantern's Reign. I think that's what it was. The Instagram page, and then there's the official one. I don't know what to enter yet. I've painted enough pinups at this point. Speaking of other things that I already got around to painting, so the other week I did Nagoyuki from Guilty Gear. This week we have my previous favorite character, Biken, from the very first game. I don't feel that I did a good job on her face. Her eye is painted, but I can't really make out where the straps on her eye patch are supposed to be. Yeah, she only has one eye and one arm. She does have both feet, though. And again, the washes that I use really tended to just kind of, like, disappear. You can't see it. I did put it between those hands. And you'll notice I did try to paint, very poorly, mind you. What happened there? I don't know where that black line came from. That wasn't there earlier. I did try to paint the pattern on her kimono, and she's supposed to have the little skull there on her shoulder. Who knows which Guilty Gear figure we'll have next week. And here, to accompany her, the small baby dragon from the same artist. Let's say, Ernkman? I think that's what the name of the Patreon was. I'll put a link if you guys want to check it out. I was pleased with the eyes. I thought I got the right look down. I forget their name. Hitokage? Is that right? I don't remember all my Japanese Pokemon names. It's been a few years since my kid was obsessed with them. So yeah, overall, a nice little turnout for this week. And when I say little, I mean little because I left the big one for last because I want to make sure people are actually watching this stuff. But yeah, I got one of my big summer projects finished. There were two of them that I was determined to finish. Bunk. Yeah. Let's get that zoomed out a little bit. So, as I'm slowly zooming out, this is Kara Tioth? I don't know what the hell his name is. Anyway, this is a very, very large model from Archvillain Games. And if you follow Archvillain Games, they tend to have a very, very large model on a monthly basis. So you can see here, this sucker is absolutely bonkers huge. That is a 150 millimeter base with 2 sharks and all kinds of coral and junk floating around, hanging around, and he's actually got his tail wrapped around the base stand here. He's not even technically perched on the base, he's floating above it, which was kind of crazy. This took me way longer than I had envisioned, but as you can see, it was an absolutely massive project, and I left it all nice and glossy. I figure if he's supposed to be underwater, he really should have the glossed look. I'm not sure what everything is supposed to be. I tried to do a little bit of research on corals and things that grow in the reef, but I just got tired of having to look and figure this stuff out. But it is kind of cool, you know. I mean, that is one of the things I enjoy about this tabletop stuff, not only with the historical things, but, you know, big crazy stuff like this, making me have to go look up how are the, you know, bellies of sharks, how do the colors work. Obviously not this guy, but like his pilot sharks or whatever they are hanging around him there. But there's just so much going on with this thing. I hadn't realized at first, but his thing on his back here that's kind of like grossly embedded in whatever spongy coral junk is hanging around there is actually supposed to be the lid of this thing. I'm assuming this is a face down there because there's a bunch of eye-looking things and teeth. It is now, and there's various tentacles coming out. Let's see one right here, wrapping its way up towards the shark. There's another one going all the way up this pillar in the back. So yeah, what a massive, interesting and fun project, but going back, I don't think I would have glued everything together beforehand. I actually have another big Archvillain project I'm going to be starting in. It just so happens for the month of August, because if you're watching these in consecutive order, which is coming up, they're going to be doing big lizard stuff again. So I'm super excited about that, and looking forward to seeing what kind of crazy giant stuff they've got this time. But yeah, so I gotta say, I'm happy with what I got done. I am hoping that with my last true week of freedom here, I'm gonna be able to get a couple more things finished. I've got a big, huge dragon. I think I showed it off before from Dragon Trapper's Lodge that I've been wanting to work on. So I got that primed up, and hopefully we're gonna get that started. It might not be till December that you see the finished product, but it will get done one way or the other, and then hopefully we can start on some of the other stuff. I got a few other little oddballs I have to finish up to clean off space for that dragon, because I think he is just as big, if not actually bigger, than this dude. And then maybe it's time for some mini monster mayhem giant things that I've been neglecting. So, it seems I've got my work cut out for me. Hopefully all of you are out there busy with work that you enjoy as well. And if you want to work on any of these, as always, we've got those links down below. You are welcome to go and indulge in the same kinds of craziness that I am on a regular basis here. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye!